Happy Thursday, everybody. We are on the road again, as per usual, and the sky's finally clearing just a teeny little bit. Very overcast today, a lot cooler, which is really kind of a welcome change. It's like 65 degrees right now, and I am not complaining. And I like a gray day every now and then. It breaks up the getting pounded by the sun and all the heat. So, anywho, we are on I-94 heading up towards Eau Claire, Wisconsin. We're about an hour out, and going to drop off this trailer, and from there I have no clue yet. Haven't heard from dispatch yet as to what they want me to do next, but I'm sure I will here shortly, and we'll see where we're going after this drop. But yesterday was kind of funny as I shut down in that Flying J. I went and ordered some dinner and ate dinner, and I had a bit of a sore lower back, and I get that every now and then. And one of the things that always makes my back feel a little better is I'll just lay down flat on the bed, and I'll lay down on my stomach, of all things. You would think that laying on your back would probably be better, but for some reason or another, I'll lay down on my stomach, kind of put my arms up over my head, rest my forehead on my forearm, and just kind of lay there, and that seems to stretch whatever is, kind of sore in my back real nice, and always feels really good. So I finished dinner, went threw out the garbage from that, got back in the truck, and just hopped on the bunk and just stretched out, put my head down on my forearm, just intending on just stretching my back for a couple minutes, and I was out. I was gone, done. So I woke up probably, I don't know, about 2-3 in the morning, with all of the lights in the truck cab on full bright. I was out. I was, it was a long day yesterday. I parked in the last hour of my clock, but I can't remember the last time I laid down like that and just knocked out. That usually doesn't happen, but apparently I needed the sleep, so I just conked out and slept for a good few hours with all the lights super bright in the truck, and I didn't give a shit, apparently. So woke up and just said, wow, that was weird. Got up, brushed my teeth, did all the rest of the good, and went to bed the correct way. So yeah, that was kind of funny. But up bright and early, and gonna get this load completed, and we're just cruising along. So nothing really exciting or super interesting to report, just so far a normal, regular, uneventful day, which is always a good thing in trucking. Actually, you don't want eventful. Uneventful is a good thing. So we are cruising along, and I'll check in later. Well, it is turning out to be an absolutely beautiful day, slowly but surely. Clouds are starting to break up a little bit. We're starting to see the sun poke through here and there. And we are in the lovely rolling hills of Wisconsin, and I just love this state. Yes, I know, I sound like a broken record, but it sure is pretty in Wisconsin. Anyway, we dropped our trailer at the Menards Distribution Center in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. On one side of the complex facility, whatever you want to call it. I call it a small city. So we dropped that trailer on one extreme end and had to drive the 5 or 10 miles over to the other extreme end of their complex and picked up a loaded trailer. And once again, it's going out to Holiday City, Ohio. So I'm just fine with that. I know the drill now. And I know how to find that place, because it's a little difficult to find, because it's still, I suppose, a little bit newish. I don't know. But the GPSs are not real clear on how to get in there. So, and it is in the middle of the country, so there's a bunch of rural roads, and you're not quite sure which one of them is a truck route. And yeah, so you can get confused pretty easily going to that one. But now that I have it figured out, no problem, easy in and out. So, yeah, so I have not waited once so far for a load assignment. Every single new load I have received before I have completed the current load. And actually in one case, I think I got 2 different loads at once, so I knew 2 in advance. So that's a very, very good sign. That makes me happy. That means the dispatch team, planning team is on the ball. And that's a really important thing when you're a driver, for those who don't know. Because no matter how good of a driver you are entirely dependent on your company's load planners and dispatchers. And if they don't know what they're doing, your life quickly becomes a living hell. And also, you starve to death, because if they're not organized and planning you properly, you'll be sitting between loads waiting for the next one, and that's all time you could be driving. And the old adage, if the wheels ain't turning, you ain't earning. Very, very true. This is a per mile business. So if you're sitting waiting for a load, it's costing you money. So again, very happy about that. So all in all, very pleased with this new company. Great equipment, great people so far. I still have the cynical side of me that is just waiting for the bomb to drop, because so many trucking companies absolutely suck. But so far so good. So hopefully this continues and I'll be a very happy camper. So off we go back to Holiday City, Ohio. Ohio.
Early the next morning.
Well, happy Friday, everyone. That's right, we made it to Friday. So it is a lovely morning. Sun's just kind of waking up here at about 6 a.m. And we are on Interstate 88 heading east, heading towards Holiday City, Ohio for this delivery at Menards DC again. And yeah, yesterday I ended up shutting down in Rochelle, one of my favorite haunts, my little pilot in Rochelle, and figured I would get a parking space because I was hitting there early enough. I think I shut down at about 6 p.m., something like that, and I want to say I had just under 2 hours left on my clock, but I was tired, and I was thinking, okay, I could make it to Lake Station, Indiana, to another big Flying J there, but Lake Station is an absolute garbage hole, and I didn't feel like driving through that whole metro area and stuff. I was just tired, so shut it down in the country where you can get a good night's sleep. And I hit the rack at about 7 p.m. I think, something like that. I was out like a light, woke up at around midnight. I wanted to take a shower, but of course there was 29 people in line for the shower when I parked. So when I just kind of happened to wake up around midnight-ish, I had a look and there was only 2 people waiting. So got on the list, got myself a shower, came back and just went right back to bed. So anyway, feeling pretty good, and get this day on the road and get going and see where we end up. But so far, sun's just coming up and it is a beautiful morning. Let's hope it stays nice and clear today. Well, so much for that beautiful clear weather. Man, it's 6:27, so literally 27 minutes after I recorded the last clip, and we are now in nice fog, as you can see. I think the clouds need a little bit of coffee so that they can rise up off the ground, but of course that's not what fog is. It's not just clouds that are sagging and drooping. It is a whole different phenomenon. Anyway, we're just rolling carefully in the fog. Well, skies have cleared up and we are now on the Gary, Indiana Motor Speedway. Yes, at 7:30 in the morning. It's actually not bad at all traffic-wise for I-80 going through Gary. but thought I'd jump the cameras on just to give folks who are not familiar with this particular area of roadway, give them a snapshot of just how crazy this place is. Actually, right now it's super tame because there's hardly any traffic, which is a rarity because usually this is just absolutely packed full of cars and trucks, and a huge amount of trucks come through here because you have so many different major highways combining, and then of course the Gary, Indiana, Chicago area concentration of manufacturing and warehousing and all of that good stuff, transportation, railheads, so it's a whole lot of transportation stuff all coming together. But look how narrow these lanes are. For brand new drivers, or for those who are a bit faint of heart, this can be absolutely terrifying, because when you are wall-to-wall trucks, which we're not at the moment, but if we do get two trucks, one on either side of us, is what I'm hoping, so that you can see just how narrow these lanes are. It's one of those places where you really have to watch every single second of where you're going, because if you allow yourself to drift ever so slightly in a semi-truck, you are going to be clipping mirrors with your buddy next to you, if not worse. It is real easy to hit somebody, so you got to be super, super, super conscientious and on high alert. And to make it even more fun, you have a whole bunch of folks that love to tear through here at crazy breakneck speeds and weave and dart in and out of all of the other traffic and cut in front of trucks. And I mean, it's just absolute mayhem in here oftentimes. So right now, super tame. If I get a truck on either side of me coming up, which I hope, I'll snap the cameras back on so you can see it. But yeah, this is one of the crazy spots in trucking that a lot of drivers don't care for. I don't mind it because I've been through here so many times, it's second nature. But when you're brand new, this is one of those places that can really terrify you. So let's see if we get some wall-to-wall stuff here, and I'll pop the cameras back on. So here's an example of a guy who's driving a tractor and not driving a trailer. And by that I mean he's driving in terms of his perception of the size of the tractor, and he's forgetting about the 53-foot trailer that's behind him. Now in a turn like that, who cares, because you're not hitting anything, and I'm sure when he's maneuvering and all of that in tighter traffic, he's a lot more aware of where his tandems are. But that's a really good example right there, what we just saw, of how the tandem tires will track off track in a turn on a semi-truck. And that's why you always need to be driving the trailer. You need to be thinking of those wheels back there and where they're going to end up. See how he's cutting that really tight? Look where his tandems are. They're all the way into the shoulder. Now look where I'm coming on this turn. I'm all the way up high, top of the turn, so that my tandems aren't going over into that lane. Here he's doing it again. He's cutting way too tight against that line. If you're driving a car, wonderful, that's great. But you're not driving a car, man. You're driving a truck, and you need to watch that. So, as I said, I'm not trying to slam that driver. I'm quite sure that if he was in a situation where he had to pay attention to where his back end was, he'd be a lot more diligent. And he's probably just figuring, it's just an on-ramp, who cares? But I don't know. I'm more of the mindset that even on an on-ramp, who cares? You should still be driving a truck like a truck and not like a car, because it gets you into that repetitive process where it becomes instinctive. It's like a drill, and the more you drill, the more it becomes instinctive and automatic, so you don't have to think about it. So anyway, I just saw that happening. I wanted to bring that up and point it out.